First scrimmage, which as a coach is always good and bad. The good thing is get a chance to get live work in a game situation with officials. Bad thing is it's a wake-up call that you got a lot of work to do, and most of it's to be expected, honestly. Thought I'd just kind of give you an overview. The first defense won soundly versus the first offense. And the second offense won soundly versus our second defense. Really, the first, going back to Friday yesterday, really probably our worst practice, probably since we've been here defensively. Offensively, went up and down the field, wasn't much resistance, did not play very well. So, as happens in camp a lot, defense bounced back. They were ready to go today. One defense, that is, bounced back today. Offense did not answer the bell. Offense lost soundly. And really, if you look at it, the sloppiness is really attributed to penalties. A lot of those procedure penalties, which are mental errors. We really struggled to run the ball. We had multiple drops. And we just didn't throw it very well, and we didn't protect it very well, and didn't run it very well. And so all you all are pretty intelligent, so y'all can figure that out. And then the second offense, I thought, did some nice things. Defensively. A lot of freshmen playing with that second unit, and we got a ways to go there. Some positives. I'll give you some positives. I will say this. I'm sure I'll kind of cut it off before I get asked about it. Josh Groden, he practiced today. We got him some. He has to be in helmets for the first 2 days due to the acclimatization. But he did. He was out there today. He punted, and we welcome him to the team. He's a good addition. He's got talent, fits a need. Something we've been working on. It's kind of why I dodged the question earlier in the week. So I'm excited about having him. Some positives. I'll start defensively. I thought Taj Austin had a really good day, and he had his worst day probably as a Mountaineer yesterday, so that was encouraging. He bounced back. He had 4 sacks. Darius Stills was really disruptive. Thought he won the battle versus Chase Barrett decisively today. Reuben Jones made some plays with the first and second unit. And then Tate Mayo had a pick and ran it back. And I like how he's competed the last couple of days. Offensively, I think positive. Sam James continues to make plays down the field. Excited about him and his potential. Sean Ryan and George Campbell both made some downfield plays on go balls, which is something that we needed. And the reason we added those guys. And then T.J. Simmons was pretty consistent. Sinkfield played the best of all our backs, and then Trey Lowe. Trey Lowe had a really good day. He played a couple scoring drives and really played well. So that's where we're at. I'll say this is we've got a lot of work to do. The good news is we've got plenty of time to get there. What this football team's got to correct, and I talked about it a little bit last time I was up with you all. What we've got to correct is our bad has got to be way better. Okay, if you look at really quality football teams, when they don't play very well, they're still good enough to be in games and have a chance to win. All right, right now with us, where we're at is our bad is really bad. All right, I mean it's really bad. And so now when we're good, we look like a quality football team, but we've got to make it where our bad is we're just still average. Okay. That's what we got to get to, and we're not there yet because defensively we were bad yesterday, and it was a race up and down the sidelines today. Offense was really bad, struggling to move the ball in any phase. So not discouraged, disappointed in some guys' performance, but it's always good to get it on tape, correct it, and get back at it. So we'll do that tomorrow. So with that, I'll take questions.
You've been first-year head coach, OC. Any correlation to disappointment, impressive at this point? You can't compare where you were in your other spots.
This is a little bit unique, just because what we lost, or what I say it wasn't we at the time, but what West Virginia lost off last year's team, especially offensively, makes this totally unique. If you go back and kind of go through it at Texas Tech. Really had some playmakers back. Quarterback that had played was back. Actually, 2 quarterbacks that had played were back. So we had some pieces to work with. Go to Kentucky, it's completely started new. Okay, played this a lot of freshmen, really struggled in the first year as we played those freshmen. And then at Troy, it was just a program that wasn't in a good position, and we knew year one was going to be kind of a growing phase. This is unique in the fact is because we're replacing so many off a really good offense, and so that's the different part. Okay, we got so many new faces. If you think about, especially on offense, how much our roster's changed going back to December. It's really incredible. So different, different. I do think we have some pieces. Those pieces got to be more consistent, and that's our job as coaches to get that done.
Health-wise, were you missing a lot of pieces today? Or
Nah, we got some people banged up in the scrimmage outs, but we went into it relatively healthy. We going into it, I think one guy was out or two guys were out for the scrimmage. But we came out of it. We had some bumps and bruises. I'm not sure if anybody was significantly injured, but we were pretty healthy, especially 7 days in.
You mentioned Trey Lowe. How did the other quarterbacks look today?
I didn't think as a group the quarterbacks performed very well. I'm hesitant to be critical until I watch it. It's really a hard assessment until you watch the video, until you got a better angle so you can see kind of what they're seeing. But not as productive as it needed to be. Trey Lowe he did some good things. We let him run the ball, and he did some nice things in the running game, and then hit a long touchdown as well.
What does Quandarius Qualls give you as a pass rusher in that advantage spot?
He's got the best ball get off. His ball get off's the best we have. He's the best natural pass rusher we have on our football team. He's got some experience, so that's the key. I said that's probably his best attributes.
I know you're not a person outside the building really, but do you think people outside here may be discounting the chance Trey has to make an impact this season?
I don't know. I try to, once we get rolling here, I really don't have a whole lot of feel kind of what's going on outside of here. He does some nice things. I think he's got a chance to help us. He continues to get better. He's a redshirt freshman. He got to play a little bit in the bowl game, but he's a redshirt freshman, and he's a little bit on a roller coaster right now. He's up and down, but today, we let him. He played more continuous snaps, and I thought he showed some real positive signs.
Coach, the bad that I guess you're bringing up, is it fundamentals? Is it just the lack of attention? How correctable?
I think you get better. I think that I'm not sure you're going to see a whole lot of coaches that are real pleased with their football teams probably weekend. There's so much timing, especially on offense. It takes a while. What happens is, and sometimes it's good. That's what I told this to our team is, I'm not necessarily upset that we had some struggles on offense, just because we got some guys think they're better than they actually are, and they think that sometimes they don't need to take coaching. So it's good to say, hey, actually if you did what you're supposed to do right here, this is the play that's supposed to be made. So, sometimes the video, because I tell them all the time, usually there's a video screen here, not this backdrop, and I say, hey, your video will tell your story. So don't tell me who you think you are. Let's watch the video and let's see who you are. All right? Because it really doesn't matter what you say and what you think. It's what's on this video screen. And so on this video screen, some of these guys that think they're ballers, and that would be their term, okay, not mine, but in their term, so we turn it on, and all of a sudden they don't do exactly what they're supposed to do. So maybe we actually know what we're talking about sometimes.
How did you hook up with the hunter from LSU?
Just through connections, really. The couple of our coaches on staff have connections to the Pro Kick outfit in Australia, and I think Josh kind of, we'll let him tell it at some point, but I think he was probably a little premature in giving it up, and had a year eligibility, wanted to play. We definitely had a need, and some guys we had relationships, he had relationships with, so that's how it worked out.
With the couple guys that made position switches this week, Bonamico and Smith kind of swapped it. Just thoughts on those guys?
Yeah, I think that, and I'm the one who moved Bonamico, so I feel bad about it because we worked him there in the summer, worked him early in camp, but he's just a more natural player, closer to the line of scrimmage at that spear spot. So he's going to be he'll have a better impact for us defensively at that spot. Tyke's a guy that's going to play. We're going to get him ready to play, and we like depth at that safety position. He's physical and he can run, and I just thought it was a good move for him to get back there where he can get a lot of reps.
Your number one defense, what did the back end look like?
So, yeah, we rotated a bunch. We got Mahone, Norwood, and then Tyke got in there. Jake Long played a little bit with that bunch. And then at corner, we played Bailey, Washington, and we're playing Fortune and Mayo. All those guys are getting reps with the ones as well.
How are those young corners coming along?
They're getting better. Yeah, I do. I like their makeup. Yeah, they like their makeup. It's a challenging position to play early, especially with the dudes we're playing in our league. Mayo, really competitive. A little light right now, but really competitive. Fortune is the exact build that we want, and he can run. They're getting challenged because we got some length. So there's some guys that made plays today, but just because they're long, went over top of them and get them. So technique-wise, Coach Dye's doing a nice job with them. They've got a little work to do, but I do like their makeup, and I think that they're going to be a factor for us this fall. So Corey Turner's a kid too that long term is going to be a really good player. He's a little bit behind them right now, but he can run and he's got good skills.
With Miller being on the bike a few days ago, is he back to?
He's going to be back. He didn't practice today. He was the one. He didn't practice today, but it's nothing serious.
Do you have a time frame for deciding how to handle the Haskins situation?
Really, to be honest with you, Alex, I'll probably let my statement that I'll release the other day kind of let that be the speaking point right now as we continue. We're handling it in-house right now, and as we get further along, we'll let y'all know.
Do you have a date that you'd like to get some closure on Ryan's availability, Sean?
Yeah, I would.
Yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, I don't make that call though, so patiently waiting.
You mentioned Sam James as maybe one of the receivers that had an okay day. Could you maybe get more specific? What do you?
Yeah, he's a guy that's going to have. He's got to be a player for us, and I've talked about this before. He's a redshirt freshman, but he's not allowed to play like a redshirt freshman. Okay, where we're at is he needs to be a guy for us. He needs to be a guy that we can count on. He has really good speed. He's got great ball skills. He's explosive, and so he's worked really hard. And probably coach him as hard as anybody. He's a guy that he's not allowed to have bad days. And my challenge to him is he's got to compete at a high level every day if he wants to be the guy that I think he can be. And I think he can be, here in West Virginia, there's been a history if you look over the last 10, 15 years of high-level receivers, and he may be the next one of those guys. And so, but it has to happen every day. But I am pleased with where he's at, but we'll continue to push him to reach what I think is a really high ceiling.
When you look at first-year receivers, that's a tough assignment. I mean, whether it's Steve, Bryce Wheaton, and you look at West Virginia,
It is.
not a lot of true freshmen have done that.
Yeah. Well, they're redshirt, so they're a little bit older. But it is. I mean, it's not your perfect situation. But hey, that's where we're at. Until we added George, we didn't have a senior receiver. Most of the guys that are going to line up and play haven't played much time at receiver at Division I college and Division I at Division I level. T.J. Simmons, the only experience we had, and so that's why it's so imperative in these scrimmage situations that we play well wide out. I thought we were okay today. I will say this: we were okay, which was a lot better than we were at any point during the spring in any scrimmages. Okay, so we're making steady improvement. I think that's the position group that will benefit the most by going back and watching this video and then making some corrections.
Is there any area where you're exceptional yet? Or above? Good?
I think it's too early to say that. I think it's too early, John. I wouldn't say exceptional at any position. I do think that we've had real steady play out of Colton Kivitz. I think we've had real steady play out of Josh Chandler. Josh Norwood's learned what to do, but I love what he brings every day. I'll tell you this: our long snapper Rex, I'll probably jinx him, but he's been on money, so he's been right on point. A couple of those wideouts, T.J. Simmons, Sam James, they've been consistent. Defensively, I think Tom Curry after the first couple of days has been much improved. Brees Steining's been pretty solid. So those would be some of the guys that, when I think about, they're consistent. I know exactly what to get. I'm going to get out of those guys every single day. That's, to be honest, what's what I'm on.
Okay, thanks, Coach.